everyone, thanks for checking out Pure Delusion. I'm Tamir, and today we're going to be doing something new, a slight video game review, more like an honest opinion. I wouldn't say a review, I don't know really what to call it, but I felt like it's something I wanted to talk about because I am a huge fan of anime, and Naruto is, I wouldn't say it's one of my top fives, but it's a good anime. But nonetheless, let's talk about Boruto to Naruto Striker Shinobi. That's a very long title. At first glance, when you look at this game, the game looks very impressive. The mechanics, it catches your eye. And I think the biggest deal about this game is kind of what they did with Dragon Ball Xenoverse, a game I never played, but a lot of people seem to like. I guess for me, the idea of being a Saiyan or a Namek, it never really interested me. However, when it came to the Naruto universe, I mean, it's I feel like so much more fleshed out in the abilities and signature, clan abilities. You start thinking of crazy ideas like, combining, like, what if I got a Sharingan and Byakugan, or your mind kind of runs wild with all the ideas and possibilities you can possibly do. However, Naruto to Boruto is a one-trick pony. That is really what it is. You literally get to play a game where you get to combine all of these random abilities, put them together, and they work to kind of subdue you in a certain type of way of not making it broken. Like, obviously, we all know if you have a Sharingan, there's a plethora of abilities that you should be able to do. However, they pretty much just made it into a substitution jutsu, extra one. So, but nonetheless, it's a certain amount of balance that is there. Is the game fun? Absolutely, the game is fun. It realizes, a fantasy of when you're watching or reading, what it would be like, how your ninja will look. Would you be of the leaf? Would you be of the stone, the grass? All of these kind of things. But outside of that, and learning from different teachers, which is cool, that's pretty much it. It really doesn't have much else. I know everyone keeps saying that they have plans to release this and release this mode or that mode, but at the same time, we're talking about a $60 game, and it basically was not finished on release. So, just to get to the point, because I want to make this a long video, if you love Naruto, if you love hand-to-hand combat and all of that good stuff, and you're that kid running down the hall with your arms behind your back, you're absolutely gonna buy this game. If you're just a fan of like fighting games, this is by no means anything similar to like Dragon Ball Z, Fighter Z. There's definitely not going to be a competitive scene, I would imagine, based around this game. It's really just a pick up and play. I mean, obviously, like, there are mechanics that work together, but it's just a pick up and play game. It's nothing that's too complex. I do think it's cool that they actually put you in a ninja squad, so it's you along with 3 other shinobi, so a total of 4 versus 4 in these matches. And sometimes you do see coordination where people are combining abilities to keep you in stun locks and things like that, and I think that is very impressive, and that's when the game shines the most. However, we can say the same thing of anyone that's played a Halo or Call of Duty or Overwatch. When you're playing with a team that's based around communication and trying to execute a strategy, that team always wins, right? So this is nothing new. But for the most part, when you go into matches, I'm just hitting A rank. You don't run into too many teams like that. Most people, they're doing their own thing, not a lot of communication, and it really doesn't affect the gameplay. It's kind of like one of those games you can just veg out and just play, and you still have fun. Even when you lose, you have fun. It's just a fun game if you're really into Naruto. If you know nothing about this universe, do not buy this game. This game is terrible. From just a basis of like mechanics, terrible. There's nothing worth $60 in this game. But if you're an anime fan, and better, more than that, if you are a Naruto fan, you've always wanted to be Rock Lee with a Sharingan like myself, then this is the game for you. If I had to rate this game for average consumer, I would say 4 out of 10. For a Naruto fan, it's a 9 out of 10. Because, I mean, it's not perfect. Even for a Naruto fan, you're still frustrated. However, it still fulfills that fantasy. And I guess if we really want to be honest, you look at like anime games that usually come out, they're usually not well made, and that's because the game title alone, they know that branding is going to sell the game. I mean, look how many Gundam games have been released, or how many Dragon Ball Z games have been released. I mean, there's a plethora. There's been plenty of Gundam games, Dragon Ball Z games, One Punch. I mean, we all know them, and they haven't been really good. And even the prior Naruto games that were fighting games, they were broken and full of people that just abused mechanics that messed with the lock-on mechanism. So this one, I say, is a lot better when it comes to that. You have the control of locking on a lot better, and there really is no manipulation that I've seen of combat where it makes it awkward for your jutsus not to work. And sometimes, it happens, or you find out little things like, oh wow, planetary devastation. I cannot substitution jutsu out of that ability. However, if I have a Sharingan activated, I will get out of it. So, it has its quirks here and there. Overall, I'm enjoying the game. I'm having a lot of fun with the game. But like I said, I am a anime Naruto fan. Like, it is a series, hate-love relationship. But overall, I mean, it is a good series. Obviously, I wouldn't have laid down the money to get the game. Developers say they're going to continue to improve it. We will see. They just released a patch. It fixed some of the issues where you were not receiving your experience at the end of matches, and some of the black screen issues that it had. That's all been fixed. So, so far it looks like they're working on it. That's pretty much it. Yeah, like I said, jutsus, genjutsus, all that good stuff. You want a team, there's 4 different classes: attack, defense, ranged, and healing. If that interests you in making your own team, and you do not have to have like all attack or all defense or one of each. You don't even have to have a healer. You can all just go attack and just like, hey man, we're just gonna hit them as hard as we can, and we're just gonna blitz them. And sometimes you run into that kind of team, or sometimes you're part of that kind of team, and they do have a healer, but the healer just cannot keep up with that amount of DPS. So it's interesting. I do wish there was some type of story mode integrated more. That would have been cool. But I get it. This is one of those online games, and I feel like as gaming continues to push, storyline games, in multiplayer focused games are just falling by the wayside. I mean, you saw Call of Duty. They are releasing Blackout or Black Ops 4 without multiplayer. Without a story mode. I think this is kind of the future where we're headed, because I know myself, I never really played the story. I went straight to multiplayer, so I don't care. But for other people, I get it. And you're looking at value. And $60, if you got it and you love Naruto, I say do it. If you're on the fence about it, or you're like, I don't know, like, this is really a tough decision for you, then you know what it is. Don't waste your time. But thankfully, I'm fortunate enough that I can waste my time on this delicious, fun, fantasy-filled Shinobi game. So that's all I got for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please toss a like my way if you did, and thank you for watching if you're still watching. It means more to me than you'll ever know. This is Tamir, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Thank you all. Peace. What do I know? What do I know? What do I know? What do I know? What do I know?